Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So right now, I'm going to be doing a ClairTarot reading for an energy update for the collective whole. Okay. I asked the collective energy what this reading is going to be about, like a general idea of what we're going to be talking about. And I'm being given the feeling and the sense that core blockages are being allowed to rise to the surface. These blockages are being cleared out. This is a huge process. Okay, guys, this is a really, really huge, challenging process for most people. Some of the symptoms you might be experiencing as this goes on is a sense of just weird, like, what is going on with me? I suddenly feel really lost. I have some weird belly thing going on, nothing too serious, but something that makes you wonder, like, do I have an upset stomach? What is going on? Thank you, Stephen Pelton. Thank you for that. And what's going on really is things are rising up from your core. As things rise up from your core, for those of us that are sensitive to energy, yes, you can experience headaches. Absolutely. The headaches usually they stem from energy that's being purged through your pineal and your pituitary, because the pineal, I believe, is the mother, the feminine energy, whereas the pituitary is the masculine father energy. All right. This is the releasing of the chrism of Christ. This is it's like an oil. Some people would refer to it as like an oil, but there's a lot of information out there that you can find on this. I know there are things rising from our core, and the things rising from our core, they're not necessarily the primary wounds that we have been dealing with and trying to heal and address. For those of us that have been doing the internal work, like shadow work, inner child work, the self-love work, these are not the wounds that we have been dealing with. Okay. These are wounds that are secondary. They go deeper, much deeper into our core. And these wounds are rising up. This tells me that we're doing the healing. We're doing the healing work. We're definitely doing what's necessary. Hold on really quick. We're doing what's necessary to heal the primary wounds. And so we're experiencing healing on a level where the primary wounds are no longer primary. Okay. They're no longer primary, and that's okay. That's okay. We are not our wounds. We carry the wounds, but we are not the wound. So it's really a time of shifting your perception of who you are, of your path. As the core blockages are broken up, because they're going to need to be broken up in order to rise. Have you ever tried to pass something? I've never had a kidney stone, but I'm being given the analogy of like a kidney stone, a significant sized kidney stone being passed versus having a procedure done where they use sonic type frequency to pulverize the kidney stone. It's still going to be a painful process. I'm sure it's a painful process no matter what, but it's a lot easier to go ahead and pass a smaller stone, multiple smaller stones. Well, I mean, at least that's my logic. I've never had a kidney stone. Thank God. But I have known people who have had kidney stones, and being aware of their level of struggle and suffering as they're processing this, man. Oh, interesting. As I'm continuing to pull cards, I'm being given yet another analogy with the kidney stone thing. There is a homeopathic, I guess, I don't know what you would call it. A homeopathic treatment, an at-home treatment that you can find online. I want to do a disclaimer real quick. I am not licensed to treat diagnose or any of that. Okay, I'm not a medical professional. I am a stay-at-home mom. This is a simple live stream. I'm just sharing thoughts. Okay. You got to talk to your doctor before you start putting any of the things that I'm saying into practice in your life. I just want to put that out there. Kidney stones are a really significant health circumstance. Okay. But you can find information. It's a combination of organic lemons and I think it was olive oil, and it helps to lubricate the pathways that the stone would pass through. And I believe the acidity of the lemon juice helps to break down some of that formation. But again, I don't know. I've never had a kidney stone. I've never tried this on myself, but I did do it to my cousin. I did. I had her drink that. She was cursing me. She said, but it passed the stone. It passed the stone. And so that's my only experience with it. But that oil, what's really fascinating is we're talking about the pituitary and the pineal and the that chrism, that Christ oil, and it kind of serves as the same thing, allowing for the facilitation of a much more compassionate purging process. We're doing a lot of purging right now. I don't know if y'all are aware of this or if it's kind of flying under the radar and you're just having this sense of like, what the hell is going on with me? Why am I so emotional? What are these headaches, belly aches, weird sensations? For some of us, it might even feel like some heartburn, indigestion. And really that's about us not really being able to digest these energies very well. Okay. So you have to allow yourself some time to digest. So let's final deck that I'm pulling from right now. Yes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Here goes. So energy update. Ooh, okay. All right. So card number 15, gratitude. Excuse me. As we experience, and yes, lack of sleep, insomnia, huge, huge thing. So many of us are experiencing insomnia on a whole nother level, like, I just, breathe it out, just breathe it out. So as all of this energy, very high frequency, is coming in, infusing our auric fields, really serving to realign our luminous bodies, this energy is surging and it's causing us to have a hard time falling asleep and staying asleep. So many people have been sharing with me personally that they wake up between 2 and 4 a.m. no matter what time they sleep, between 2 and 4 a.m. The other half of the spectrum that's been sharing with me has been sharing that they can't go to bed until about 4 or 5 a.m. So there's something about that special time. The special time, it's pulling in a lot of frequencies. Oh, you know what? Let's look. Circadian clock. Let's see. There are certain times of the day that organs tend to go more active. Let's see, between 2 and 4 a.m. All right. Okay, no, that's not okay. Let's try this one. Oh, here we go. Ooh, that's deep. That's so deep. Okay. So between like 2 and 4 a.m., the organs that are really going active and processing would be the liver and the lungs. Now, so many of us have lived lives that have caused a huge, huge amount of anger, repressed anger, to be stored within our field. The liver is tied to anger. Okay. The liver is tied to the emotion of anger. Now, the lungs, they go active between 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. With the lungs, that organ has a lot to do with suppression. So this is about us suppressing our anger. And really what I found is that um anger, when people are like, I don't know why I'm so angry. People always tell me I'm so angry. What I found is this: anger is nothing more than unrealized sorrow. Some things in your life have caused um, an intense sense of disappointment, sadness, a sense of like isolation, lack of being heard, lack of being seen, lack of being valued. And when you suppress that, because you're not allowed to feel angry about that. I mean, heaven forbid you process your feelings, you voice yourself. So you suppress that. And what ends up happening is it affects the lungs. When you have conditions like, asthma, things that affect the lungs, um, it definitely will cause like a suppression. Okay. And that suppression will manifest as lung conditions. The more intense the lung condition, the more intense the suppression. You can ask any naturopath, holistic doctor, sometimes even herbologists know this information. Suppression will manifest in the lungs, whether it's emotion or symptom suppression. Allopathic medicine is huge, 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 huge on steroids. And what do steroids do? They don't cure the condition. It's about symptom management, symptom suppression. That's what allopathic medicine does. It's not true healthcare. Let's not even go on that tangent. But you have to begin living with gratitude in your heart, okay? True gratitude, meaning you are allowing yourself to process the events of your life, and you are allowing yourself to experience a sense of gratitude for whatever that circumstance, no matter how long ago it was, whatever it is it's trying to teach you. Okay. The more pain involved in the circumstance, the more intense that lesson was intended to be. So it is difficult for us to go back to those places that allow that pain to rise back up, but it's so necessary. It is so necessary. You can do this by yourself. You can do this with the people you trust. You can, find a professional who offers services to help you process these thoughts and these emotions. Whatever it is you need, that's what you do. Feel no shame about your needs, about how you're processing. That's a part of the problem: the shame and the guilt, the embarrassment that you feel with your lack of ability to process. It's time to let that go. Okay. If your core blockages are going to rise up, you're going to have to let that crippling thing go so you can begin processing, because it's going to become very difficult for you. If you don't process, it's going to become very, very difficult. Okay. Card number 43, come to life. Honey, especially manuka honey, has the ability to help accelerate healing. Not only is it sweet, it's a very, very potent type of medicine. It's a potent type of medicine. It's time for us to allow this medicine into our hearts. Okay. Just allow the sweetness of gratitude to coat the wounds. If you're not familiar with medicinal use of manuka honey, you really should look into it. You really, really should look into it. Hold on real quick. I'm told there's a comment that I need to find. Um, what's the site you looked that up on? I didn't look up a site. I just did a quick Google search with the term circadian clock. Um, and it might be better if you search up Chinese circadian clock, because it'll give you a more well-rounded idea of the emotions and the organs that are tied to the different times of day and night. If you just look up circadian clock, you might not fully find what information you're looking for. So was that the comment? I think that was the comment. Well, that's a comment that I focused on, so I'm assuming that's a comment. Um, So here you go. Your higher aspects are gifting you with opportunity to really amplify and accelerate your ascension process right now. We have the new moon coming up this Friday. Okay. If you're not familiar with how to utilize the cycles of the new moon is the perfect time for you to begin really setting your intentions, really solidifying what it is you're going to be doing when the next full moon arrives. And I don't know if you guys know, I do lag quite a bit. Y'all probably know that already. But if you guys don't know, just by chance, I don't even think it's by chance. I think my soul directed me to it and I was oblivious. But I realized I will be doing a lunar sound bath this Friday evening. And that happens to be the new moon. So if you want to be a part of that exclusive event, I'm not going to be doing it on YouTube. I've found that when I do events like that, it's much better to do it privately off of YouTube. It still will be an online event, but I don't have to worry about like what lurkers are quietly trying to do stuff behind the scenes. Let's be honest. Every time I go live, there's lurkers trying to test their abilities out on me. That's fine, but I want to be focused on creating a beautifully healing space with those who want to participate. So it's going to be a private event. It will be online. Check out my website if you want to. Oh, I don't have the link on my website. I'll post the link. It's on my Facebook. It will, I think it's also on my Insta and will be on YouTube at some point today. So that's going to be on Friday. It's time for us to begin allowing the acceleration of this frequency accretion. We are pulling in extremely high frequencies. Since that 1212 mother freaking portal opened, even though it closed, we have just been accreting frequency left and right, and it's causing us to jump in dimensional level of consciousness. Boom, 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 jump, jump, jump. And it's time to flow. It's time to float. Look at that. That crown energy. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. This feels so appropriate. Like you're being gifted through solar channels. You are being gifted with such tremendous potentiality. And the lunar event is a perfect time to really set the intention to allow yourself to not just receive, but also begin the integration. That's important. I mean, you can receive as much as you can, but if you're not integrating it, you're really just hoarding that energy, aren't you? Aren't you? Ooh. Okay. Integration with integrity. Shabam. Integration with integrity. Ooh. Mm-mm-mm. Trying to get your soul to rise up and glide with no effort, just like the eagles. Eagles oftentimes are seen just gliding alone. They are said to be able to fly much higher than any other raptor. I mean, ooh, ooh, wee. Got me sounding like Snoop Dogg. Ooh, wee. Look at that arc of Kokoro activating along with the third eye, all of this information downloading, all of this abundance, really, really amplifying and supporting and grounding the root. Ooh, that's powerful. Now, if you're just going to be working on nothing but the higher chakras because something within your ego is telling you that you have to rise up, and you're not doing anything to ground yourself, that's a very unbalanced type of growth. You're going to experience chakra blowout. Chakra blowout will eventually become a physiological symptom presentation known as fibromyalgia. Y'all didn't know that, huh? So many people have fibromyalgia because, unbeknownst to them, they are accreting frequency. And because of the blockages that have not been purged and chakras realigned within the central chakra channel, the line that goes down the center of you, it's pounding and pounding and pounding on those chakras, and it's blowing them out. And as you get chakra blowout, that energy accumulates and it begins to affect the code expression. Okay. And that's how you get all these symptoms. Fibromyalgia is not some unknown thing. Just because allopathic medicine doesn't know what to classify it as, that don't mean nothing. And I figured this out because I had fibromyalgia for years, years. And it's because I had chakra blowout. I was part of this mindset that, you know, in order for you to be a worthy person of some sort of substance, you needed to continue to rise. It's just keep up, up, up. That's all we have to do. Focus on the up, up, up. And it created such an instability. Being the kind of person that I am, I naturally have high frequency. And quite a few of you who join me frequently have naturally high resting frequency. And so if you have naturally high resting frequency and all you do is try and raise your frequency more, um, you're going to be ungrounded. You're going to be untethered, and it's going to be very difficult for you to relate to other people. You become very like bitter towards people, like, oh, it's because of humans. Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, as long as you're in a body, you too is a human. This is human, HUMAN. HU, harmonic universe of man. You are both galactic and terrestrial at the same time. And it's time you begin really embracing that. Okay. You have star coding as well as terrestrial human coding. All right. Begin embracing that. Stop trying to do, I was going to say parasitic. Stop trying to do spiritual practices that are not in alignment with your actual needs. This includes dietary practice and preference. This also includes lifestyle, spiritual practice, all of that. Do what feels right for you, not what someone else tells you. Okay. So, card number 19, dream a beautiful dream. You're at the epicenter of what's happening right now here on earth. Look at all those beautiful ripples of change, positive change that emanates from each one of us. Now, whatever emanates from you is what you set your intention on. Okay. If you want to change in a positive way, and you do that by embracing who you are in this moment, that's how you do it. When you embrace yourself as you are in this moment, realizing you are perfectly you, and there is still room to grow, there is still room to modify, adjust, and become an even better version of you with time when it's appropriate for you, then you really open yourself to the potentiality of manifesting such a beautiful, beautiful thing. Beautiful, beautiful thing. And what's needing to happen is instead of existing in the negatives, the way you word things, if you word things in a negative manner, then you're going to emit from your core negative things. Okay. So this is not about just staying in the positive. It's not. Is this not about love and light and high vibe culture? Not at all. What this is about is recognizing the ways in which you filter. What are your filters calibrated to? Some people, and this doesn't make them any less than others, but some people only see things in the negative. So something bad was done to me. It's upsetting. Well, you should be upset. Something bad was done to you. But if you want to make that a positive, shift it 1 degree. Something was done to me, but I know it was being done for me. And what I mean by being done for me is this is gifting me with an elevated potentiality. This is allowing me to see something that normally people would see as negative and instead using it to empower myself. What was I supposed to learn in that moment? It doesn't matter what the other individual's intent was. They could have intended to kill you. That's fine. That's on them. That has nothing to do with what we're doing right now. Someone's intention was to kill you. Then this is a really dramatic analogy. Someone's intention was to kill you. And if you choose to see it as like, oh my God, I'm being so victimized. Why would someone try and kill me? That's what you're going to emanate, negativity. That's what you're going to continue to draw to you. Now, is that a bad thing? Not necessarily, because it's a very natural, normal way to respond to someone trying to kill you. I mean, someone tried to kill you. But if you shifted a degree, it's just 1 degree, but it completely shifts the way you filter that circumstance. I'll show you how you shift it. Someone tried to kill me, but I'm a badass motherfucker. You can't take me out. Are you kidding me right now? Now, what was I supposed to learn there? Ah, my higher self was telling me, like, this is a bad circumstance. Stop associating with this person. But I decided to betray myself and tell myself, don't be like that. Don't be so judgmental. Give them a chance. You see the potentiality in them. Okay, but whatever potentiality you see in someone doesn't mean shit. Because as a sovereign, they can choose not to tap into that potentiality and instead use that potentiality in a negative way. And you don't get a say in that. So you shift that by 1 degree, just 1 degree. If you shift it by 1 degree, you could totally see, like, okay, they tried to break me. They tried to say, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I am so divinely protected that that kind of shit is not allowed to actually happen to me. It's allowed to come into my field of awareness so I can be aware, but are they actually allowed to do me dirty like that? No, no. 1 degree of shifting. 1 degree. You've taken something that is so crippling, scary, and you're like, nah, I'm a church. You know what I'm saying? Church. Hey, shift it 1 degree. Some people would be like, oh, you're full of ego. Well, you know what? My ego is serving to empower me. So, yeah, I may be full of ego, but I'm being balanced right now. I'm being balanced right now. And I will not exist in a state of fear. I will not. And if you can embody that type of mindset, where it's like, no, I'm not going to be afraid. You know what? I could die at any moment. Look, that person tried and it didn't work. So it's fine. It's fine. I'm still supposed to be here. I still have things to do. I ain't got time to worry about that. I don't have time. And really, though, we ain't got time to worry about potential what ifs. Okay. So here it is. Here it is. Allowing yourself to both be anchored in this existence, really nurturing, really amplifying and expanding that root chakra, because there's nothing unspiritual or unevolved about lower frequencies. Nothing, you know? Okay. It's important for us to make sure our root chakra is healthy, that we're anchored in this life, and really opening your hands to receive with no fear, allowing yourself to speak into being. Because if you're into religion and you're into, you're into religious teachings, scripture, things like that, the word was made flesh and dwelt among us. God spoke us into being. God spoke everything into being. We first began as a thought that turned into a form as soon as air was used to bring us into being. So begin to speak your abundance into being. Allow the combination of the higher frequency and the lower frequency to be a solid force to push all that bullshit away from you. Seriously, you got to allow yourself to begin really tapping in to your abundance, to your potentiality, to your knowing that everything that you need will be provided for as long as you get out of your own way. So, ooh-wee. All right. So now I'm being encouraged to remind you guys, I do have a soul-based workshop coming up. It's coming up in March. The tickets are now available. There were slots for 9. Now there's only 8. Okay. I don't plan to do this again. I don't know. It's just giving me anxiety. It's just, I don't know. I'm shy. I'm shy. It doesn't seem like it on the live, but I am. In real life, I am. It takes a lot out of me. But this workshop, it's an investment in yourself. I'm basically going to be teaching you how I traveled this path and how I went from homeless to 6-figure corporation within a few weeks. Okay. You don't have much seed money to start a company if you're homeless. So this is a soul-based workshop. This is about really allowing yourself to not just know the business practices that will put your company out there and become a sustainable thing, but remain soul-based, meaning getting out of your own way and allowing your abundance to come into you so that you can utilize it to continue to grow your business. Part of this, me not just existing in the upper, but also allowing myself to anchor in this existence and be like, okay, you know what? I do have to begin really taking care and addressing the needs of this life, not just always in the upper stratosphere of my thoughts, like, frequency, because I do that a lot. Um, Me allowing that balance, really allowing that balance brought inner peace. Okay. And again, this is something that you're investing in yourself. This is not just, oh, let's hang out with Emmie for a few days and let her talk. No, this is an investment in yourself. If you're ready to unhook from this matrix, this phantom matrix of control and separation, subjugation, you're going to need to really think about investing in yourself and learning how to create an income without being a part of that actual system. Because so many of us are being crushed by the weight of simply trying to survive. Just simply trying to survive is too much. It's too much. So many of us are being crushed by that weight. Okay. So you need to begin speaking into being your inner peace. For some of you, it's simply balancing. For others, it really has to do with you taking that leap of faith, investing in yourself, and creating a way to sustain your life while still honoring your soul purpose. That's what the soul-based business workshop is. Okay, really realigning everything so that you can flow. No impediments, nothing. You're going to just flow. You're not going to have to worry about finances and things like that. You're going to be so focused on growing yourself that you draw your abundance to you. Now, ooh, card number 29, shine. It's time for you to shine. Okay? It's time for you to shine like the mother freaking star that you are. Michael told me long time ago, because people have this phrase they like to say, aim for the stars. You know what I mean? Is to encourage you to shoot high, try and raise yourself to a whole nother level. Michael told me one day, you don't aim for the stars. You pause and you allow yourself to remember you are made of the stars, and it's time for you to take your rightful place among them. I was like, damn, Michael, that's so deep. That's so, it is deep. It's making me feel like crying. Just, and it was at a point where I felt really, really at my lowest because I didn't want to go live. I didn't want to. I wanted to stay hidden away. Okay. I wanted to be left alone in my shell. Like, leave me alone. I don't want people knowing that I'm weird. I don't want people knowing that I'm different. And he said that to me. Oh, God, the tears. The tears was just too much for me. It was too much for me. But, the intensity of that very simple message sparked within me something. It was something. And then it was like, why am I so ashamed of who I am? How many people out there are so ashamed of who they are unnecessarily? Pretty much all of us, right? Pretty much all of us. All of us carry around these different masks that we show other people. Notice how her face is the brightest. You remove all those masks, you shine like the star that you are. You don't just aim for the stars. You pause and you allow yourself to remember you are made of stars, and it is time to take your rightful place among them. Those words never left me. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope, never left me. Card number 3, inspiration. Now, your inspiration are the bees. The bees are necessary for your ascension, for your growth, okay? And you're probably like, well, what does that mean? Well, bees, for the most part, are a natural part of a flower's cycle. Bees are necessary to pollinate, to encourage new cycles to grow. Well, the bees carry with it the potential sweetness. Let's see. Okay, sweetness, the honey. They can produce the honey or they can sting you. Hey, they go hand in hand. And maybe it's the pain of the sting that's actually the impetus for your accelerated growth. What about that? What about that? It might be that. It might be that. Okay. Don't be scared of getting stung. Don't be scared of getting stung. And if you're like, oh, I'm allergic to bees, well, okay, maybe physiologically you're allergic to bees. We're not talking about physiological bees. We're not talking about physical bees. We're talking about energy. Don't be so afraid of getting hurt. That should cripple yourself. All right? Don't be so afraid of that. Sometimes it's the very pain that we feel that grows us. And when I say sometimes, I really mean all the time. That's why we are allowed to feel pain. Okay? It's the greatest teacher you will ever have. The greater amount of pain, the greater the lesson, and the less you will forget that lesson, the less likelihood of you forgetting the lesson. Mm-hmm. But if you don't want to face that pain and really examine what it is and what it's teaching you, you probably repeat the cycle over and over. And each repetition of that cycle, every time it circles back around and smacks you in the face and chest, it's going to have accrued even more momentum. It's going to become more and more painful. And that's not because you're being punished. It's because your ass is stubborn and you refuse to learn the lesson. Okay? So, nothing wrong with stubbornness as long as you use that stubbornness, harness it in such a way that will grow you. And you're probably like, well, stubbornness is negative, period. How can you use stubbornness to grow you? Well, if my ass wasn't stubborn, every single time someone tried to tear me down by hurting my feelings, by using me, by abusing me, I would have broke down and given up. But because of the fact that I am stubborn, every single time someone cut me deep down to my core, I said, motherfucker, watch me rise. I ain't even going to say nothing. You're just going to watch me rise. And you're not going to be a part of my journey anymore because I don't need you cutting me anymore. I'm going to learn this the first time and I'm going to rise and I'm not going to look back because you're a part of my history, not my future. How about that? Stubbornness. It can definitely be used hardest in a positive way. Let your stubbornness do that for you. For real. Let your stubbornness do that for you. You will always encounter people who will want to tear you down. You will never have a shortage of people interested in shooting down a phoenix as she rises. Because that's a beautiful trophy, ain't it? You know? Bag up a phoenix as she rises. Yeah. But Phoenix is immortal. Immortal. You can't be taken down and kept down unless you agree. So stubbornness can absolutely serve you. Unless you agree to remain down, your stubbornness will always kick you in the ass to force you to get back up. Do it. Get back up. Not to prove to someone, not to prove to someone outside of you, but to prove to yourself that you got this shit because you do. Everything you have lived through up to this point, you have gotten past. You have grown beyond. You can't tell me you haven't. Now, does that mean you have completely processed? No, but you've gotten past it. You might still need to process. You probably still do need to process, but you've gotten past it. Ooh, it's 12:12. It was just 11:11 in Cali. Now it's 12:12. Okay. Okay. Calm it down, girl. Calm it down. And there you are. There you are. Ooh wee, you being called out. Ooh wee, trying to stay small, trying to ball yourself up, stay hidden. Nope, not going to be allowed any longer. You are in the eye of the storm. You're being given a little bit of quiet time in the middle of a storm. And this storm is going to be shifting and terraforming the landscape of your consciousness. It's only a matter of time. It is only a matter of time. You can sit there all you want, but the storm is going to continue to move and you won't be in the center anymore. Okay? You're going to feel the gravity of this storm, changing the landscape of your mind, terraforming your environment. You're going to grow whether you choose to or not. At this point, the core blockages are being lifted up off you, being pulverized and transported to surface levels for you to begin actually becoming aware of them. This is a part of your process. This is the way in which you will shine. Okay? This is a part of your process. This is the way in which you will shine. Y'all, you need to actively choose to remove yourself from this system. There will not be another time that is more appropriate, more convenient, the perfect time for you to invest in yourself. No. You have to choose to do it. You're not going to just be offered like, oh, here you go. Here you go. No, you're going to have to choose to do it because this system is not going to let you go willingly. It's going to continue to try and dig its bloody claws into you. And that's fine. You know why? Because this system can keep the parts of you that you're already shedding. So go ahead and dig your claws in. Take the parts of me that no longer resonate, because that was excess baggage anyways. I don't need that for my rise. Invest in yourself. Whether you invest in yourself by going to my soul-based business workshop or investing in yourself simply energetically and taking time every day to process what you need to process, to understand what you need to understand. You need to do this. You really, really need to do this, okay? Change is coming. Change is coming. The things that you have been indoctrinated to believe is full of hot air. I'm not just talking about religion, okay? I don't have anything against religion. I'm not going to partake in it, but I don't have anything against religion. This is more about you understanding a lot of the systems of control that are in place right now in this matrix of control is full of hot air. It's all BS. And the only reason it's allowed to float is because we keep feeding it more hot air. We keep burning ourselves up and allowing ourselves to be confined. And, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Do you want to still be in a gilded cage? Or do you want to free yourself from it? Because it's looking like there's nothing in that gilded cage. And you're probably needing to free yourself from it at this point. Okay? It's time for you to allow this process. Really. Just allow the process. Allow yourself to rise. Let go of the things that you don't need to continue fixating on. There are some things in life that you should continue to fixate on, and other things you don't. You have to give yourself the freedom to navigate through your life in whatever way feels right. Not based on what someone says is the proper way, because the truth of spirituality, there's only one proper way for each of us, and that's the way you choose. Let that sink in. It's not the way someone tells you. It's the way you choose, and so that's going to be a unique answer for every single one of us. Ooh, wait, look at that. I love that. I love that. Okay, we're almost done, guys. We're almost done. Excuse me. Ooh, I'm loving this. I love me a challenge. Ooh, chee-hoo. It's just, we got to chee-hoo this one. We got to chee-hoo this one. I'm not even joking. We chee-hooing. We are chee-hooing. Okay. Ooh, wee. Damn. Look at this. Wow. So many messages. Damn. This is such a beautiful time to be alive. I swear to God, this is such a beautiful time to be alive. Through all the struggles. Wow. Ooh. Okay, it's making me squeal. Let me just, okay. First off, brilliance, okay? There's a fire being lit, and that fire is helping to illuminate your personal power. Notice how her hair looks like it's on fire. Hair is always said to be, linked to your personal power. Look at all of these self-contained lessons that are coming. They're approaching. She has no fear. She looks lit from within. This is about you allowing your shine to come to the surface, to bring to you the very things that you are needing to experience at this point. You're about to grow in ways you have no idea, okay? Now, next, perception, okay? Perception. We're needing to shift our perception 1 degree at a time. You do not have to become someone else in order to shift your perception. 1 degree at a time, okay? Friction. As you shift your perception, the people who need you to stay enslaved in the very system you've been enslaved in for the entirety of your life are going to cause some friction. They're going to fight you. They're going to shame you. They're going to ridicule you. They're going to question you. They're going to accuse you of having lost your mind. And maybe that's what you need to do. Lose your mind, because that mind is tied to this matrix. Understand that the human mind has a very limited ability in its willingness and capability of processing soul-based things. Maybe you need to begin really reconnecting with your soul and processing your life and its events on a soul level. They're going to cause friction, and this friction is going to cause you to blossom. Okay? It's going to cause you to blossom. Look at all that blossoming going on. Ooh, I'm just saying. Ooh, I'm getting chills. I'm getting chills because as that friction occurs, because what is friction? It's a rubbing, right? And if you're shedding and you're rubbing, what does that friction do? It facilitates your process of shedding the layers of you that no longer serve your growth. So in reality, again, 1 degree of shifting. They're helping you. They're helping you. They're showing you exactly who they are, what you are to them, and whether or not they need to continue to be a part of your journey from this point on. And we're not cutting people out to punish them or because they're not worthy of us. Simply cutting them out because this is no longer a mutually beneficial interaction. Let them go in love. Just because you have no more interaction doesn't mean there's a loss of love. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean you suddenly have to wish bad for them. You can continue to love them in silence from afar as you continue on. That's excess baggage that you've just dropped. If someone doesn't want to grow, it is not your place to try and force them by dragging them along your path. That's not your place. Love them enough to give them the freedom to choose their own path. Okay? Now, things are rising from the core. Ooh, she's on fire. The fire from within you is shining outside of you at this point. This is you allowing yourself to process everything. Allow yourself to process each thought and event as it rises. This is a part of the undoing of your programming. It can be painful. It can be challenging emotionally, mentally, spiritually. It can be challenging, but anything worth your while will challenge you. And it's in that challenge, it's in that resistance that you build your stamina and your strength. See it for what it is, a gift. It's a gift. Whatever the person's intentions were is irrelevant. That's on them. But whatever they're doing is being allowed to serve you and your growth. That's one more shift in your perception, one more degree of shift. So here we go. Card number 15, courageousness. It's time for you to find your courage. Okay? It's a very scary thing to exit the box. Very, very scary. How many videos can you find of wild animals who are rehabilitated and set to be released? And once they're brought back out into their native environment, with the cage door wide open, they sit in the cage, scared to come out. Ooh-wee. It's okay if you're afraid. It's okay if you're afraid. And maybe just like in those videos where the handlers who took care of these animals, these wild creatures, go and scare the animal out of the cage so it can finally be free. Maybe that's what all of this friction is about. To really be the impetus for you getting out of that cage. I mean, really though, shift 1 degree at a time to remember your strength. 1 degree at a time. That's it. All you need is 1 degree of shifting. Card number 85, living in the now. Living in the now, needing to dive deep, allowing yourself to swim in your heart's oceans, allowing yourself to explore the waters within your heart. Going deep into the trenches, like, ooh, and we're so afraid that we're going to drown in our own heart's oceans. Boo, your own water won't drown you. You've been breathing that in since the dawn of time. Just look at when you were still in utero. Were you afraid to drown in your amniotic water? No, you breathed it in, you swallowed it, you created more of it. It's not going to harm you. Thinking swimming in your heart's oceans will cause you harm, will drown you, somehow harm you, even as an unborn child, you already have the intelligence to know this. Nothing of you would ever harm you. Even before you were born, you knew this. And for whatever reason, as we enter this matrix of control, we start to believe otherwise. Time to undo those beliefs. It's time. Let's return the favor. Okay? Let's return the favor by reclaiming our sovereignty, reclaiming our power. Instead of investing our energy and our money back into this system, this matrix of control and oppression, start investing it in yourself. Seriously, start investing it in yourself. Return the favor. Okay? Cut yourself off from the system that cut yourself off from you. That's the whole part of undoing. Okay? Some people would be like, oh, that's tit for tat. Okay. And? 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 Are you doing that to someone else? No. You're removing yourself from a system that's enslaved you for your entire life. This system that's enslaved not just you, but all your ancestors in all your forms. Maybe that's how you begin the rebellion. Maybe that's how you free yourself and all your ancestors. Maybe you stand as a representative for everything that came before you. Maybe you're a culmination of all the strength and courage that was suppressed through your entire lineage. Maybe you're the one that's going to change all of that. Or maybe you're not. Who knows? Who knows? Card number 47, Lemurian era. This era represents the feminine principle in a planetary cycle. Civilization was awakened to its spiritual self and its place in the universe. It was a time of peace, compassion, and enlightenment. Beings from other star systems openly walked the planet and assisted the development of humans. This feminine cycle of civilization is now returning. So we are seeing old ways crumbling. Ooh-wee. This is a natural cycle of planetary development. You pulled this card because you have a strong connection to the Lemurian era that's affecting your life now. Let yourself explore this idea more in depth. Now, yesterday I was live and I was gifted with the opportunity to showcase the feminine principle. The feminine energy is capable of elevated savagery. You try messing with the children and the mama bear will fuck your ass up. Not even joking. You mess with the bear cub, the mama bear will fuck your ass up. And maybe we have to embody this more, as of late, when someone is all mama bear, it's kind of a negative connotation. Like, I'm sorry, I'm infringing on your space. I got a mama bear. I'm so sorry. Assistance without interference. You are assisting. Embrace the fact that you have that mama bear in you. Embrace it. And you don't have to be a female, okay? You can be a male and still have that feminine savagery within you. This is about the feminine principle. This is about allowing that yin energy to rise from your core to reestablish balance. Okay? Reestablish balance. We exist in a phantom matrix that has been modeled off of, guess what? Wounded patriarchal things, patriarchal energy. It's time for the feminine within all of us, regardless of your gender and sexual preference. It's time for the feminine energy, the yin energy, to rise within all of us. That's how we get this done. That is how we get this done with no shame, no none of that. Hold on. What? But I did all the cards. I did all the cards. What do you mean? There is no more cards. This deck? All right, I'm being told one more deck. I guess this deck. I'm not drawn to any others. It's like a deck that's been put away. I don't know. I'm asking you. That's why I'm asking you. I ask, is it a duck that's been put away? Is it? Well, I don't, if I knew, I wouldn't be asking, would I? That's kind of typical Michael. Yeah. Hey, you've been pretty silent this whole live stream. What's up with that? You still mad that I told you to shut your face last live stream? Is that it? You still mad at me? Good. You should be mad at me more often. See, when you don't interfere, the messages come out. But when you're all up in my ear, you distract me quite a bit. He just giggled and shook his head. You can't stay mad at me. You love me. Michael loves me. I'm your favorite. I'm your favorite freaking headache. I'm your headache and you're my hemorrhoid. All up on my ass all the time. I know that was a bit excessive. It was. But it gave you a good visual, right? You're like the hemorrhoid that I love, you know? Like I take care of you, I moisturize you, I put creams on you. Okay, I'll stop. Okay, guys. Sorry you had to hear that. Ooh-wee. All right. So here's the thing. Card number 37, ideal course of action. Okay. We are kind of looking towards a tower moment. Quite a few of us might experience that tower moment. All right. That tower moment is to initiate change, massive amounts of change. And there goes the friction. Look at that mob. Look at that mob trying to keep you from reaching the tower moment. That one moment that's going to really shift everything for you. That's going to give you an understanding of the gravity of your shine. Okay. Don't be scared of that tower moment. Embrace it. Embrace it. Look at that. Behind you is protection and strength. The problem here is that don't allow yourself to be crippled further, to be lulled into some sort of complacency based on the things that you hear. Look at that. That looks like a shackle on the ear, to be honest. That look heavy as hell. How are you going to be turning your head? You can't, can you? So it might be that something is coming to try and shift what you focus on, try and keep you from focusing on the things you need to focus on. Something trying to really affect your thought process, trying to keep your power netted up. Oh, reptilian. There you go. Reptilian. They're not going to let you out of this matrix of control easily. They're not just going to be like, oh, okay, well, you realize it. Okay, bye. Thank you for staying with us. No, they're not. They're going to hold on like a fucking iguana on your head with long ass nails. I'm just saying. That's what that shit looks like to me. Okay. That's what that looks like to me. But ooh, I've never seen this card in this way. Oh, okay. So there are higher beings. Look at those faces. They're watching. Oh, look at that one. That one's a sour ass. Ignore that one. These are watching and waiting for you to reach that moment of self-realization and self-actualization. Now, you might be intimidated because it's like, wow, that's a lot of people that are going to try and cause friction and keep me from reaching that tower moment, that aha moment. But look, are you going to, again, focus on the negative, or are you going to shift it and focus on the positive? Because the path that you walk is lined with your own dreams. Oh, shit. Ain't that something? Dandelions, people use dandelions to make wishes on. That path leads you to your wishes. Ooh. There you go. It's time to invest in yourself. Even though she has a big ass iguana and some hoops like a mofo on her ear, does she look bothered? Nope, not at all. She's straight Bushido. You know, one of the things, and I've never let this go, backs are so ridiculously sexy. Most people are like, "Ooh, look at his abs." I'm like, "Fuck his abs. I don't show me his back." Show me the back. I wanna see that. Show me that because that's one of the most erogenous zones in feudal Japan culture. Just seeing that little peekaboo of skin, how the traps dance with the I mean, just stop. That's hot. I'm just saying. That's hot. I don't wanna see no abs. Shit. I don't care how hard it is to get abs. Show me your back. I wanna see that you can carry me. Carry me. I'm just saying. 100% at 1234. 100, 1, 2, 3, 4. Divine order. So vulnerability. With this process, with this process, it's going to trigger your inner child. Okay. Your inner child has been sleeping for a while and you're going to get that triggered. It's going to be triggered. It's going to be okay. That inner child needs to rise up because what were we showing before? Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Boop, 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 boop. I don't know what card it is. Yeah, I don't know what card it is. We had talked about inner child. You have to allow that inner child to wake up. It's time. It's time for us to do inner child work. It's time for us to take control of our lives. You are not merely a product, a byproduct of your traumas from childhood. You aren't. You aren't. You are an interpretation of all these events in your life. However, you interpret those events for yourself, whatever filter you use, that's who you become. If you use the filter of victimhood, you will exist as a victim. But if you choose to use a filter of personal truth, you will see every event for what it is. Things that were allowed to happen for you, to grow you in ways that your mind, your human mind, was too limited to understand. But now you're entering a place where you are reconnecting the self and the soul, and that pathway is opening up and allowing you to begin processing from a higher level of perspective, a higher level of dimensional consciousness. Let that sink in. Okay. So, card number 46, gratitude and appreciation. See the magic in every event of your life. I'm not talking about some like tutti frutti ass magic of unicorn and rainbows. I'm talking about real magic, chaos magic. Mm, mm, mm. I'm talking about really, really embracing the badassery that you are. Okay. Just definitely do this. Um, you want to see my medical degree in psychology. I have no degree. I proudly say I have no degree, I have no certification because the intelligence within my mind comes from my soul, and my soul helped me to understand before I committed myself to a life of debt that I don't need that to grow my intelligence. I don't need a piece of paper to prove to other people my level of intelligence. My intelligence is not just seen, it is heard, it is felt. It is a type of reverberation that a simple degree, a piece of paper will never give someone else who does not put into their life journey the amount I have invested in myself. And I am so fucking proud to state I never graduated from college. I have no intention of going through that system to financially enslave myself. That I have become ridiculously financially stable without having gone through that system. I am so fucking proud of that. And coming from a culture that places such heavy emphasis on having that piece of paper, the letters behind your name, to determine your worth, I'm so fucking proud. I have no letters after my name. The only label that I carry with me is mom. That's the most fucking amazing thing that I could ever do in this life. Seeing my heart existing outside of me. Knowing the legacy I'm leaving behind with my children. This world is not screwed. If only through the good acts of my children, from what they have witnessed from their mother. And that's all I will ever be. That's the highest honor of my life. Humanity will be saved from itself. So you don't offend me by trying to diminish me because I'm not educated. I'm educated in such a way that transcends the limitations of a human mind. And it's beautiful. It's so empowering and beautiful. I have never in my life been able to just be this fucking proud of the fact that no, I didn't go through that system. I don't have that debt. And this is why I can be free to earn ridiculous amounts of financial abundance and pass it out to everybody. That's why I'm free. And I hope whatever it is you guys are seeing right now, it's inspiring you to understand. You can do this. You can become successful without playing by the rules this system has created, because those rules are fucking bullshit. They were created to enslave you before you could even think for yourself. Let that shit sink in. Let that sink in. Before you are old enough, mature enough to understand what system you are being put into, you have become a slave financially. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. You want to see my degree? I have none. And I say that without hesitation, without shame. But I will say this. Me not having a degree does not equate me not continuing to learn. Because there are programs that exist that allow you to audit Ivy League courses for free. And if you need a certification to prove that you have successfully completed that Ivy League course, pay $50, they'll print it out for you. So I may not have a degree, but I guarantee you, I am one of the most educated motherfuckers you'll come across. Don't allow my humbleness to mislead you into thinking that I don't have much worth. I understand the level of my intelligence. I understand exactly what I'm doing in this life. Do you? Do you? I mean, I'm asking all of you guys at this point, do you? Do you understand what it is you're doing in your life? Aside from paying bills, aside from acquiring more debt and paying more bills. Do you understand that? Hmm? I'm no better than you. I'm just on a different path. I don't believe I'm better than you. I'm just on a different path. I'm on a path of truth. I'm on the path of a mother. Because as a mother, I know everything that I do, whether it's spoken out loud or simply witnessed through my actions, it's teaching my children something. It's teaching my children something. And it's a very unconventional childhood they've had. But I'm very, very proud to say my oldest tested out of high school several years early. My oldest has no degree, but he's been repeatedly invited by Stanford University to come and take classes. He doesn't even have to apply. Since he was 3 years fucking old, 3 years old, Stanford University, one of the most prestigious universities, has been inviting him, basically begging him every year to come. And every year, no, I don't feel like it. And I tell him, if you don't want to, you don't have to. Your intelligence is not about what you're associated with. It's not. You're going to transcend any limitations this human existence will ever place before you. And whatever I am in this moment, you will surpass me. And I'm proud of that. You will outgrow me, and you will carry my legacy along with you. I don't need a degree. I'm a mom that transcends anything I could ever be in this life. Anything I could ever achieve, it will never compare to what I've already done with my children, for my children. And you guys, it is just time for us to have gratitude and appreciation. It's time for us to not be afraid of vulnerability. It's time for us to take the ideal course of action. So much friction, so much friction, so many people attempting to derail you. But guess what? Stay on your path because your path is lined with the seeds of your dreams. Stay it. Stay on that path. Stay on that path. You have naturally built into your coding protection. There's nothing you have to be afraid of. Nothing in this life you have to be afraid of. Ever. Ever. Not people who come and try and detract from you, not people who try and diminish you, try and shame you. Do not be ashamed of anything that has happened to you, any decisions that you have made, because it has made you who you are today, right now. And who you are today, right now, is fucking powerful and beautiful. Don't you ever allow someone else to convince you otherwise. Yes, you still have space to grow. Yes, you will still fall, but you will also get back up. And don't hold it against people for not understanding the greatness that you are. You can't be mad at the idiots for being an idiot. They don't know any better. They just don't. But I will utilize the opportunities that the idiots give me to speak my truth even more loudly, with even less shame. Looking the camera in the eye and just letting my truth flow from my heart, up my throat, and out my mouth. No hesitation, no shame, no fear. If you can't stand the light, get your ass out the live. That's it. That's it. So now I am going to go and do some creative shit. I have a lot of things that I'm going to be doing today. If you would like to join me for my sound bath, that's going to be this Friday. It is a private event so that people, like you've just witnessed, can't detract from the beauty that we are creating together. The sound bath is a very unique experience for those of you. There were quite a few of you that joined me. It's beyond magical. I play crystal singing bowls that are attuned to the 7 primary chakras. I also have custom binaural beats created for me. I'm working with a producer, and he's creating these beats for me. And in addition to that, we are doing morphogenetic recalibrations. This is your soul being given the opportunity, without interference, unrestricted opportunity to begin recoding your morphogenetic template in such a way that will really, really facilitate your growth. This is a huge, huge experience. Again, it's a private event. If you want to be a part of it, go to my website, emmyevolving.com/event. That's the web address. But it's a private event. You have to register for it. It's not going to be done on YouTube. It's going to be this Friday, which is a new moon. Perfect alignment for setting the intentions that you're going to manifest on the following full moon. Okay. And maybe I could do, I just have to check my schedule. Maybe I could do another sound bath for the full moon as well. But I hope you guys can make it. If you can't, it's sorry. Sorry. But check it out. I hope you guys can make it. Thank you guys so much for sharing this space with me, for primarily being very, very supportive, allowing me to speak my truth, allowing me to just experience myself returning home to me. That's huge. It's huge. I know there's a very popular misconception that I'm just so full of confidence and I'm just, I don't know what the perception is, but I'm no different than you. I'm definitely still going through a process of allowing myself to be me. And what you guys witness and misconstrue as confidence is rebelliousness, because fuck that. You're not going to shrink me just because I'm being viewed publicly, because I'm stubborn as fuck. That's not confidence. It's stubbornness being harnessed to empower me in the face of oppressors. That's all it is. So when you hold space with me like this, it means a lot. It truly means a lot to me. It does. So thank you guys. It's time for me to go. If you haven't already given this video a thumbs up, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, turn on that notification bell, join me every single time I'm live. You guys know my fucking frequency. Join me every time. Bye, guys.